and 10.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So, as the title implies, 0151 has been running scared for the couple weeks. Last week, or I think the week before. Hey, what's up, Alex? Hope you're doing well. He decided to dox Stabby Shade. Now, a lot of people are debating. They're saying first name isn't dox, but he was putting out the initial threat, right? As if he had something, and he does have her dox. She confirmed that. So this was a means to get back like Kirsten R., who had said that she didn't want to have a relationship with him anymore whatsoever. What's up, Lord? Good to see you, buddy. And that she was done dealing with his whiny crybaby bullshit when he would get far too drunk and just be a little bitch. So after he had paid Zatachi off, right, that's when he started getting exposed. So he's been going on at just basically the peak of fucking dawn when Queen Wasp is live, and that's what he's relegated to hiding out in, right? So Queen Wasp is constantly lying to her guests. Hebrew Hammer, oh, I hadn't even gone into the fucking Discord yet, I'm a retard. Actually, perfect segue. So Hebrew Hammer here was outside on the backstage, I should say, of Queen Wasp, and she keeps lying. She keeps saying that she has a shitty connection. She just had Allie up there. She will only allow guests that don't attack 0151. I've emailed her about this because I have her personal email. I'm not going to put her name out there, so don't worry. I don't intend on doing that. But Queen Wasp is definitely protecting Zero for pretty much no reason other than I can only assume money, right? Queen Wasp, I didn't think was the kind of person that would just do shit for money, but I have been proven wrong time and time and time again as this little globe turns. How much meth does Allie do? I would assume a lot, right? Allie's one of those people that she constantly comes on here and tells the same story about, oh, I'm not on here. It's good to just not have all the drama. It's so good. She's told that story 8 times in the last year, right? We got it the first time. Oh, shit, hold on. You're on the wrong channel. Give me a second. God damn. This Red Bull is hitting me hard. Go ahead and talk again.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're coming through. So, your user experience with Queen Wasp and her panel was not good. You want to explain that a bit?
Yes, I went in the I said what's up, and I asked her why my main account was blocked. So I came into my backup account, which is Hebrew Hammer. It's just the same thing, but it's just another account. And she wouldn't answer me, so I went in the basement, and she keeps telling me I'm not connected, but when you go on StreamYard and you try to connect it, it tells you you're not connected. It tells you to fix something. And she's like, I got a bad connection. It's raining outside. And so I left, and then I came back thinking maybe it's something. And then it's not because I'm connected. I'm typing a fucking book in the back chat saying, hey, can you let me up? I'll be respectful. I have no battle. I just want to say what's up and ask her a couple questions. And obviously she won't let me up. And I came up again, and she's like, nope, bad connection. And then Allie came up, and she let Allie right up, and I'm still in the basement just sitting there. So obvious she's full of shit. Get it?
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix your audio real quick because they keep bitching about it.
Oh, here, let me fix this. I'll just hop on my laptop and instead of my... Because I have my other headset on. It's not very good.
It looks like it's coming through. That's what's getting to me. It's just like it should be. But
the way it is.
Go ahead and hop on the other on the laptop.
I'll be back.
So, for those of you who couldn't really hear, basically he was saying that he was trying to jump back there, and she is just straight lying about that. I don't understand why. It doesn't really make any sense other than, like I said, she's trying to protect Zero from criticism. I can only assume Zero's paying her not a lump sum, but more just progressively over time as he's protected up there. Right. Paying for protection, especially from just harmless people like myself that don't even really do much, just sit here and talk, is some absolute bitch-made shit. Zero, I think, knows that he did something wrong because he's left almost every server that a lot of us share, so he's avoid of criticism, right? That's very apparent. My guess is that he doesn't actually want to take responsibility for the shitty action that he displayed. And so he's just going to sit there on Queen Wasps while he thinks none of us are paying attention at 4 in the morning, which we are. Well, at least I am. Right. But what does Zero do? He was drunk raging and he got mad at Kirsten R and Stabby Shade and he decided to dox them. So he was facing backlash for that, and as soon as he faced the tiniest bit of backlash, he started crying and basically trying to tell us that, oh no, that's not what I did. Now, he already paid Zatachi, I think it was somewhere around $800 for some stupid bass guitar that he wanted, but part of that stipulation was for Zero to let a dox ride on Zatachi's channel. I don't think he'll ever get sober. I think it's too far embedded. We've known 0151 to be this terrible fucking drunk pretty much his entire time on here. Zatachi doesn't really want to take any responsibility for this. He's saying, oh no, I had nothing to do with it, while also threatening Stabby Shade's dox on Silver Diamonds, which Silver Diamond is trying to cover up. She's trying to say, oh no, that's not what happened, you're misinterpreting that. What Zatachi has said, and he admitted this yesterday, is I have your dox and I don't do anything with it. But he's using it as a gambit, as a threat, right?
I have the screenshot if you want me to send it to you.
Let's go ahead and put that up on the screen.
Hold on, give me a minute. Go ahead and talk now.
Okay.
Don't be a second.
Oh, you're good. But this has been going on for the better half of a week and a half, right? This has been something a lot of them have been avoiding, right? I've tried to approach Zatachi about this. Zero is going to Queen Wasp. Queen Wasp will not let me up, right? Despite the fact that I've emailed her, despite the fact that I've tried to reach out to her personally and say, hey, you didn't used to be like this, you didn't used to pull this bullshit. What's going on? She's more or less unresponsive to the whole situation. I just don't understand this. It seems that 0151 at the end of the day really got his... When did that happen? That didn't... Wait, hold on. No, I know almost everything about Silver's shit on here. When did that happen?
Wait, what's that?
No, me and AC aren't cool. I'm not friends with Mexicans.
I put it in the side chat in the Discord. I don't know how to...
No, you're good.
I'm gonna send it to you.
No, I can use it there.
But that's what I got when they told me about it. But let's see. There's not really... I don't know if that's a full-on threat, but the way it sounds, I would definitely be like, hey, what the fuck?
Well, we can let people decide for themselves. So here's a screenshot. Obviously, that's like, Silver Diamond's panel, and you got Zero at the bottom saying, I have your information, and I never let it out. Keep calling me a doc. So that last part in particular, keep calling me a doc. So, or what?
Right. And what I was going to say is, and we just left Zats, and that's where all this shit went down. We just, literally, it was 1 minute, and that we went to Silver's, and that happened. They dropped that, so it was still heated. So obviously, I find it kind of threatening.
Right.
But that's my opinion on it. I'm just giving people context. It was later. It was like literally 5 minutes later.
So, rest assured, this behavior is just it's just cringe. Right? It's cringe that we got Zatachi to such a point that he's just trying to use people's doxes against him to admit criticism, to try to get out of it. He says, oh, I'll put out your dox if you keep calling me a doxer. Which, is that not ironic?
And one thing, real quick, I like Zat. I've been cool with him the whole time and everything, and I like hanging out with him and stuff, but one thing I've noticed about him is he will do anything for some money, and if Zero was paying for that dox to run through and people are letting that happen, that's fucked up. You're paying somebody off to run a dox.
Well, he'll do anything for money except work.
Right. But I'm just saying, you got to think of that too. I've seen him, you know what I mean? I've heard Zero say do this and he would do it and get money, but anyways. I'm going to let you do your thing.
All right.
I just want to come up and share my little piece.
All right. Well, thank you. That's what I don't get is a lot of these people will go out of their way to do this, especially for money. If money's involved, then all the rules go out the window, right? People's information gets leaked, people get protected, and all kinds of other nefarious bullshit, all for the sake of, hey, take this money and shut up. Zero has been doing this for quite some time. Right? This is not something unfamiliar with him. At what point do we as a community really ice this kind of stuff out? You know what I mean? how many times is this kind of guy, or is this kind of person, I should say, going to be able to take advantage of particular panels to have himself protected? Because at this point, he tried the whole, I'm going to pay you money and leave the stocks up. As soon as he got called out for that, as soon as he got criticism for that, now he's paying for protection. That's, Alex, I agree. It's one of the reasons I'm not really a fan of Ross Kahn, for instance. I don't hate Ross Kahn in any capacity. I would have to actually care about her to hate her, right? I just don't find her whole schmoozing with money to be... I just don't like that, right? It just makes me think that they're pay-to-play kind of deal, if that makes sense. Goddamn. But I told Zero... he can take the link at any time. He's more than welcome. He left my Discord server. He also left Abe's Discord server. I don't know if there was any other Discord server he shared. He also blocked me on Discord. Hard block. Now, he's never done that before, at least as far as I know. And it just seems like he's scared of the criticism. My problem is more with Queen Wasp. That's what I truly don't understand, is why she finds it acceptable to pretend that people aren't connected in the back, to leave people back there and see. No, nerd. That's what I don't get. And well, I think to a point, Zero does know that, and that's why he just hard blocked me as soon as he could. Right? That's why he doesn't show up on Satachi's anymore. That's why he doesn't show up a lot of places anymore. He doesn't want a place where he has to face any kind of criticism. He's like a drunk, retarded Ross Kahn, right? And I find it funny, the people that throw down the most money, people that pay for this, are the people with the thinnest skin, right? I noticed as soon as you criticize these people, they get very upset, almost immediately. And it doesn't even have to be any harsh criticism, right? I'm known for laying down some harsh criticisms, and that's just my opinions, which are exclusively mine. They don't have to be yours. They don't have to be anybody else's, right? But it's to the point where people have to pay to bar me from things because of the harsh truths that I would have to tell them. Zero, to me, in this case, is a little bitch. I don't doubt it. Queen Wasp is trying to say that, no, she didn't accept any money. But the thing is, it's very obvious to me that she did, because she's playing these little fucking games. And she's getting so mad at just the most basic of comments. She timed you, Abe, and me out all in the same live stream for pretty much nothing. And I would invite Queen Wasp to jump up here as well, right? But I don't think she'll do that, which is unfortunate, because up until this point, up until Queen Wasp was paying Zero, or being paid by Zero, jeez, it's early, sorry, me and her were just fine. In fact, she would send me personal emails saying, thank you, I'm glad you stood up for me, and I did a few times. There was some guy, I forget his username, but he was coming at Queen Wasp for having that baby on the stream, which, again, where Queen Wasp is in the community isn't where the shit show is, and I think a lot, or Base Valley for that matter, which I think a lot of people get conflated, right? For instance, I would never want somebody to have their tiny little baby on the shit show. I don't think that's a good place to have something like that. But you got Queen Wasp's channel where there's 13 people watching, and all of them are usually either older people or just people that actually know her in this community. That's not a bad place, right? That's probably the most harmless place. I'm going to give a shout out to the Tilp. Who did we get to shout out the Tilp yesterday? I'm trying to remember. Who was that? We got somebody to shout it out. But this whole controlled by money thing, it's getting really gay, right? I'm just wondering how long Zero is going to happen to find himself to a point where he needs to be protected, because he's on a trust, so he's got lots of money to burn, right? It's just how long does he really want to hide? How long does he want to avoid criticism? And that I just don't know. The longer he avoids me or Hebrew, Abe, any one of us that actually has criticism for him, the worse it's going to get. The more questions we're going to have. The more this is going to build up. The less places he's going to be welcome. And I think deep down he knows that. Now, Zatachi, on the other hand, keeps letting us up. Every time he's questioned about it, he cries, basically. Oh, I didn't do this. I'm not responsible. Zatachi has become one of the biggest crybabies on this platform. And that, to me, is extremely sad. I want to go over more of that in my Wednesday show, and I plan to. But Zatachi still has a problem with drunk driving, right? This is what... Hey, what's up, Angel? Good to see you. This is one thing we pointed out a while ago. To his dismay, he really was upset. He goes, oh, I just had one beer. It's okay that I drove. No. And even when I questioned him about it yesterday, he says, listen, there's an okay amount of alcohol to have when you're driving. Absolutely. I firmly do not believe that, right? Whether it's Hebrew, whether it's Willie, whether they're trying to pretend Doc did, which I thought that was funny. Like, Doc even got his wife on there and be like, he wasn't driving. And then they went back and they looked at the footage and no, he wasn't driving. Right. Joey seems to be having a mental breakdown beyond belief, which is absolutely hilarious to me. I kind of figured after prison things weren't going to go great. You can't go from solitary to real life and just have that transition go easily. So he's been having a hard time. That's the other side of the coin. It seems that Joey, well, he seems to be going through a hard time. So last night he had blocked Big Mama, which I found really odd, right? That's his girl. That's his main squeeze. Even though she lives in a different country, he pretends that they're in the same house. They're absolutely not. And blocking her just seems kind of petty and weird. Right, she was just on panel not too long ago, I think a couple days ago, and now she's just hard blocked. Oh no, he's still on parole. Now, I don't even know this probation officer guy or the number or whatever. From what I can tell, there is people who do though, and that's who he lets run over him on his own show. So, for example, people are wondering why Zell and Nunzio have such a strong foothold over there, even though he constantly has problems with them. Well, it is because Nunzio/Zell will call his probation officer at the drop of a hat. Now, he keeps screaming about how his probation officer doesn't care. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, well, we'll see if that happens. I doubt it. No, he's saying his probation officer doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. Unless he's attacking the victim, unless he's doing this and that and the other thing, the probation officer just doesn't give a shit. Turns out that's not the truth at all. One of the stipulations of his probation is not to be on the internet making threats at people. Well, if you paid attention to Vegas Valley in the last couple weeks, you can assess that he has been making threats on the internet, which is what he went to jail for. So it's not really all that difficult to say, hey, this guy's doing it again. And he ends up getting a call from the probation officer saying, hey, you better cut it out, or guess what? You're going back to the claim. That's it. That's the long and short of it. There's no, I'm going to slap you on the wrist. There's no, you're going to timeout. You're just going back to jail, which is one thing he's deathly afraid of. I noticed Nunzio and JoJo have that in common. They are both deathly afraid of the common area in jail. So they will sit there and beg to go into ASIC or solitary, right? I get it. I wouldn't want to go to prison, right? That sounds like a horrible time. I try to stay within the confines of the law. These two, on the other hand, are almost destined for it. Clandestine, if you will, for jail. Oh, I already knew that. Oh my God, you're so dumb. That is crazy, though. Hold on. So, fucking Abe brought some old news to my attention. Today, in old news. So, Allie was in the movie A Christmas Story. I think everybody already knew this one. But it's just kind of crazy to think that this community was her in the movie. That's crazy. She sat next to the main character. You know what I mean? And now look at her. It's crazy to think that somebody goes from being in one of the most beloved movies of all time to a YouTube panelist who had got the shit end of the stick And pre-meth. And now they're just... That's what kills me about Allie, is she tells the same story over and over again every single time. It really drives me nuts. It's always, I'm not on here anymore. Oh, I just get on here sometimes. I don't even talk to that person anymore. I run a channel and I only get 3 viewers, but I like it that way. That's why I came onto this channel, so I could talk to people, because there's no one talking to me on my fucking channel, because you never really made an imprint. Right? Allie's big thing was being Huck's friend. Huck threw her in the trash. What do you do there? That's it. Where's Rick Crude? Rick Crude had a stroke. And not of genius. No, he just had the regular kind. He cannot use the left side of his body. So he's been bedridden to the hospital ever since. Now, I'm not going to go as far as be like, oh, get well, Rick. Oh, we've already been through this before. Right? When his foot got removed, right? The entire foot. Rick is a product of his own making, right? He doesn't take care of himself. And the one thing I always say about your health is you got to take care of your health because nobody else will. That's it. That's just the long and short of it, right? I started taking steps into caring about my health, just with exercise, just with eating better, not eating fast food. I'm guilty of the occasional energy drink, right? You were seeing me drink at the beginning of this. I love Red Bull, probably my favorite out of all of them. But other than that, I try to stick to a pretty healthy regimen. A lot of these other people, on the other hand, not so much. Whether it's just drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of these people are just an absolute fucking mess. I think one of the biggest things in this community that is a huge killer is fast food. And I myself am guilty of that because it's easy. It's lazy. It gets delivered to your door. It tastes passable, not even good, but passable, and you can choke it down. This kind of stuff definitely does take a toll on the human body, especially, have a good one, Hebrew, especially when you let it eat you alive. I am seeing that more and more and more and more as these days go on. That mental illness and the addiction to relevance drives so many of these people. What's up, Duffy, man? Good to see you, buddy. For me, a lot of the fun in this came from Connie, right? But now Connie's gotten to a point where his life is just this... It's not as fun anymore. A lot of it's just him trying to be like, oh, my mom's dying. By the way, I'm playing Pokemon Go. I'm not triggered by anyone. That's why I'm going live and talking about nothing, because I'm lonely and a fucking loser. This has always been the case for Connie, but at least he blessed us with the occasional freak out. Right? That's not so much a thing anymore. So we've had to go to other content. We've had to look for other content. AC has found himself with the Genuinely Jen content, right? And it got so hairy that Genuinely Jen had to go to Vegas Valley, therefore tying that knot together. Now, Genuinely Jen is a whole breed of fucking crazy. She has her kids that have restraining orders on her because she is a fucking creep. She would offer her kids' friends blowjobs. She would force cat shit into her friends' or kids' friends' mouths, and she would disguise these and call these all pranks for some reason. All of it very disturbing. But she hates when any of this is brought up or criticized or even mentioned. Right? Allie was on panel. She was on Queen Wasp's panel. You can go back and watch that. I'm sure you're subbed to Queen Wasp, so you can check her out there. I don't even think she knows this channel exists, so it's a very low chance she'll actually pop up on here. We're all going through something. I would assume so. It's tough out there. What, you guys think my life's easy? Well, it is. She just lost her dad. That sucks. I don't know what you want me to say about that other than that sucks. Shit, I'm going to lose my dad eventually. The guy's 82. And Nunzio was supposed to go kill him. I don't know what happened to that. Nunzio told me, he swore to me that he was going to go kill my dad. Right? He says, I'm going to go find your father because I'm a humble individual. I'm going to go to his domicile and I'm going to kill your dad. Tonic the fox. And then he proceeded to get shooed away in the gated community that my dad lives in, which was absolutely hilarious. Mr. Maybe his car is solar powered. It could be. I bet you his cell phone is solar powered. Yep, have a good one. Nunzio's a whole breed of fucking retard. I just can't with him. I do think it's funny that he makes so many threats and never keeps up on any of them, right? I love his grandiose stories about saying, oh, we can go all over the place. We're going to take all the airline miles. Zell has all the airline miles. I genuinely do not believe that Zell even has that job at the airport or whatever, because she has entirely too much time in her hands. She didn't used to be on here at all. Now she's on here every single time. Well, Nunzio's bent in the head and also retarded. So one of the things that got out recent was Nunzio's parents wanted to give Ruru power of attorney, which would make it basically so she was his parent, right? Nunzio's parents wanted to give him up. They don't want to deal with him at all.